Welcome back, everyone, to a new year and a new week with the weekly press conference with UTSA men's basketball head coach Austin Claunch. The Roadrunners ended 2024 at Army to wrap up a travel-heavy December. We start the new year with more of the same as the Roadrunners head out to New Orleans to kick off the first American Athletic Conference slate under Claunch, facing Tulane on January 4th at 5 p.m. Coach, can you get us started with a summary of what's been happening with the Roadrunners and what we've got this weekend at Tulane?
Yeah, well, obviously, coming back from break, we had a pretty long break, and I think that was that was pretty evident, quite frankly, in how we played at Army. We were in such a good rhythm going into the break, and then coming back, actually we guarded okay. When you look at our points per possession defensively, we did some good things. Wasn't a good offensive game for us. You got to credit Army with that. But then also I just thought our ball movement wasn't where it had been before. You saw our assists were way down and just we were a little stagnant. And so obviously it wasn't our best performance on the road against a good team. But, certainly fortunate to get a game in before conference play. Obviously that started with a couple of teams playing yesterday and today. And, as we move forward this week, obviously a really big game against a good Tulane team that beat Charlotte a couple of days ago, and obviously just a big week of preparation, and certainly as we travel to New Orleans, I do want to say, of course, my thoughts and prayers are with the city of New Orleans, a place that, as many of you know, I was in South Louisiana for 7 years and lived in New Orleans for 2 years, so certainly a place really dear to my heart. A lot of close friends down there, so looking forward to catching up with some friends when I go down there, and just more importantly, man, just thinking about everyone that's been affected by what happened there over New Year's. And so, thoughts and prayers with the city of New Orleans, and for our group, excited just to move forward into conference play and hopefully start accumulating some wins.
John, can you go ahead and get us started?
Coach, your non-conference schedule, you got some good road tests. You played quite a few teams who were predicted to win their conference. How do you expect that'll prepare you as you start AAC play?
I think the biggest thing is when you play those kind of teams, you learn not just about playing good teams, but great cultures and just teams that are mentally tough, just as mentally tough as they are physically tough. And I think we saw that. I mean, certainly when you play Army, you're going to play a really disciplined group, but that goes all the way from Little Rock, Bradley, of course, St. Mary's in Arkansas, but North Dakota. I mean, I think we saw how good they were. How they played Alabama after they played us, and so again, we played a challenging schedule. It might not be, maybe to people that aren't super close to the sport. If you look at the schedule, you might not know about some of these programs and teams. But certainly I think it has prepared us to be in close games and find a way to win at the end of, tough games.
Go ahead, Jerry.
Jerry, I can't hear you, brother.
Think you're muted.
There we go. Hey, Coach, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, brother.
Want to double check, circle back to yesterday. Was there ever a point yesterday, Coach, where you thought you might not be able to get this game in?
That was never really communicated to me. No. Just again, that's stuff that's a little bit beyond my decision making stuff. For us, it's just been preparation as usual, and have not had those conversations.
Okay. Well, how do you feel about your ball club overall going in? You've had lots of twists and turns in this pre-conference schedule, Coach. How are you feeling about your guys overall right now going into conference?
Good. I think we're where we need to be in regards to understanding what we want to do on both sides of the ball. Certainly defensively. I think when you look at, again, I know we lost to Army. If you look at just the efficiency metrics, it was our second most efficient defensive game of the season versus Division I opponents. I think Merrimack was our first, and this one was second in terms of points per possession. And we did some things that, quite frankly, a couple of those, we gave up 11 threes. 2 of those were on me and some post-defense stuff. Just some easy inside outs that are on me schematically. We had some casual ones in transition that we can clean up. So we played pretty well on that side of the ball and still gave up some easy ones that I think are easily correctable. And then I think offensively, we just got to get back to moving it. I think we saw, the way we played against, North Dakota and even in games before that, St. Mary's, when we're moving in and getting multiple guys touches, it's just about getting that ball moving and bodies moving. So we feel good about where we are. But, at the end of the day, everyone says a new season and all that. But now it's time to obviously, get out there and, the 94x50 and find a way to get it done.
Go ahead and jump back in, Sean.
Coach Damari's a guy who's played well and really given you a threat on the perimeter. What have you liked about what he's brought to your team?
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's clearly an elite shooter, one of the best, if not the best I've ever coached. He's got good size. I think what you might not know if you're not around him every day is just incredible basketball IQ. Really understands the game. He's a very good passer. Accurate and on time. And he's a pretty good defensive rebounder. He's still obviously getting back into shape from his knee injury. But I'm pleased with how he's played and, and again, just somebody that's been in big games and in big situations.
Jerry?
Hey, Coach, I want to ask about Mo Inja. Did Mo not play the other night at Army? What is Mo's status?
Yeah, he rolled his ankle pretty bad in practice 2 days before. Listen, I think if it was the AAC championship game, he probably would have played. It's you got to take it precautionary a little bit. He's day to day. We'll see if he plays against Tulane. We're still I guess 48 hours, a little more than that out. So I would expect him to play, but he's day to day with the ankle.
And Coach, what is the status of Jaquan Scott?
I will have more of an update for you on that in the coming days. I'll have more update on that. Just when next time I see you, I'm sure I'll have more of an update for you.
Is he okay for? Could he play against Tulane possibly? Or
yeah, I mean, I'd rather there's just there's some meetings and stuff that I'm gonna sit down with him and just have a conversation with him, and then from there I'll keep you in the loop.
Jump back in, Sean.
Coach, obviously you're focused on Tulane, but the next time the fans have an opportunity to see a game in the Convo, they will receive an Austin Claunch bobblehead. What are your thoughts on being represented in a bobblehead?
I've always been told I got a really small head, Sean. So this is obviously a different look for me. Hey, it's pretty cool. I don't know. I just saw a picture of it. Obviously it's. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's cool. I'm more important with the fans being there. If they need 3 bobbleheads, I'll get them for them. I mean, obviously, man, I'm excited to get in the convo and get conference play going. Obviously, that's a cool little deal. I've never had one. Obviously, I've had a lot of texts from people seeing it on Twitter today and all that. So, but again, hey, more importantly, whatever we got to do to get people to the convo, bobbleheads, free donuts, French fries, but whatever it is, man, let's make that environment awesome, and let's make this one of the toughest places to play. Obviously the women got a big win here the other night. They're off to a great start, and certainly we want to replicate that success at the house.
Go ahead, Jerry.
Coach, your team has had quite a turnaround. The first few games were a little rough in some areas, but you guys generally have played very well over the past 3 or 4 weeks. How can you circle back a little bit about what was going on early with the team, and then just what clicked to kind of get y'all to this point where you're playing pretty good basketball generally?
Yeah, it was rough, Jerry. I was there. It was we got off to. I wouldn't even say, you talk about things clicking. Yeah, you're right. It's just a new group, and we've been kind of tinkering with some things on both sides of the ball. Lineups, styles. Anytime you've got a brand new group, you're trying to figure it out. And some, just at the end of the day, sometimes it happens, faster in certain years, and sometimes it just takes a little bit more time. I was disappointed in the outcome against Army. I think, to get that win and be 7-5 going into conference, I think, like you said, I think we started 1-3, and to kind of turn it from there and at least get back to 500 heading into conference play. I was proud of our group for that. And now, obviously, a new season, you're 0-0, and I think I have this stat right. I think the American Conference played more close games, which I think is, decided by 4 points or less than any other league in the country last year. So, I think that our schedule has prepared us to go into tough environments and play close games and find a way to win.
You have another question, Sean?
Yeah, Coach, your team has no quit in it, and you talked a little bit about it, but, that resiliency is something that probably you really can't teach. What do you like about that resolve that your team has shown this year?
Well, I think it's just about playing the next possession, regardless of score, regardless of circumstance. We've come back from some pretty big deficits. I'd like to keep getting better at not getting in those big deficits, but with that being said, I think it just shows about being process-oriented, which is what this is, which is what it's going to continue to be. And I do think if we value that and value the whole, we got to continue to value the whole. Quite frankly, we got a couple of guys playing, maybe in my estimation, a few too many minutes right now. Not that they're not playing well enough, but I think we've got to continue to understand our balance, 9 or 10 deep between 12 and 30 minutes, that's a lot. That's 15 minutes is a lot. And we got to understand that, every time we're on the floor, we got to value every possession. And maybe it's not, am I scoring, but is the group scoring when I'm on the floor? And is the group getting stops when I'm on the floor? We got to continue to just, gain that mentality. And I think we're there heading into, obviously, a big game on Saturday.
Go ahead, Jerry.
Coach, I'm good for the rest of the way. If anyone else has anything, I'm good right now.
Okay. Well, thank you again, everyone, for joining us today, and we'll be back more on a regular schedule starting next week, when we also have the UTSA basketball radio show starting on January 6th at 7 p.m. at Chicken and Pickle. Thank you, Coach, for joining us today, and looking forward to a good weekend in New Orleans.
Birds up. Thanks, brothers. Happy New Year.